Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast, a show that happens twice a week, where 2 to 3 old guys talk about, anything interesting or relevant or related to games.
Usually old games.
And today is a special
Today we're going to
episode.
talk about old men.
old men. So old. Since one of our favorite people, Maester Wiley Ammons, has now hosted 2 episodes, which qualifies him for an interview episode. And Dave, you've been so busy. We need to do some more interview episodes and free you up some more time because we love you. Your time is valuable.
I'm all about it. So. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm billing right now. So I'll just go ahead and send us that invoice that we can't pay.
So today in studio, once again, Maester Wiley Ammons.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Wiley. I feel like we need to have some kind of clapping sound effect.
Right.
Like the shitty Microsoft... God, PowerPoint. Man, I just totally drew.
Yeah.
That's such a black spot in my mind. I don't even like to think about that software.
It's audio clip art.
Yes, exactly.
I've hosted 2 episodes, and the prize is yours, TADPOG Nation.
And because what I like to do periodically is basically the Better Know a Guest Host series. So that's what this is. It will be just an in-depth, just prying, brutal, Frost versus Nixon style cross-examination of all things Wiley Ammons.
Oh, Lord. I don't know if I agree to that.
Yeah. But I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and I have a story about Wiley Ammons.
Okay, great.
Whenever, because my wife went to seminary with Meg, that's how we met Wiley. Whenever we would have a party, Wiley is the brewmaster and always had the kegerator in his apartment, hosted a lot of parties. When Wiley would occasionally drink to excess, he always wanted to watch various things. One of the things at the top of the list was Barbarella.
Cockfighting. Oh, okay.
Cockfighting.
All right, sorry. That was me. I'm thinking of me.
It was me and Oathbreaker Blake Woods. And
you would fight?
Cockfight. No. The boys.
You sword fight.
Yeah. While you get drunk, cross swords. No, he would always want to watch Barbarella.
What is that's
basically
a movie, right?
the first 2 minutes of Barbarella?
Queen of the Galaxy.
I think I saw that on Netflix once. Not actually watched it, but I think I saw it as something that I could have watched and then didn't.
So the opening scene of Barbarella is Jane Fonda in her prime, twirling through space, little known, drunk off her ass.
Yeah, I heard an interview where she admitted that was the only way her then husband, who was the director of the movie, could get her to do it. It's basically a 0G striptease.
Oh, okay.
She's coming out of a space.
So she's not just twirling.
She's coming out of a
clothes are coming
spacesuit. One segmented piece of the spacesuit at a time.
That does not sound very sexy, is it?
It's pretty sexy.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty sexy.
I mean, whenever the word segmented is used, I usually kind of tune out.
It just, she looks like she's going to pull off a glove by the finger, and that actually is the entire sleeve. It pulls away from the suit. It's just interesting how it comes apart.
So I should watch it then. Yeah. Sounds like
she looks good, and her husband clearly had some sort of a cuckolding fetish. And that's fine.
Is that the reoccurring theme of the film? Cuckolding?
Yeah.
I've never seen more than that intro. So
pretty much, as it turns out.
All right, interesting.
So it's this weird futuristic world where the greeting is love. I mean, basically, it's hippies win and take over the galaxy, and yeah, so it's an interesting movie.
Okay. It's a far cry from FTL.
Total B-movie sci-fi. It's a lot of fun. There are terrifying dolls and instruments that torture you, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm falling off it again.
No.
Let's stick to the striptease, the cuckolding, and I'm in.
Who are you again?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even know anymore, Tyler. I'm having what you call an existential crisis.
You've only been up for like 40 hours.
Yeah, I've only been up for 40 hours. Who knows?
You want me to do your intro?
Do you want to?
I could.
All right, do it.
Well, you are bespectacled host Dave.
What's up, Internet?
There it is. back on the show.
But see, you don't want me to let me do your intro story. I could go anywhere very quickly.
Yeah,
And a
good.
story I know about, Dave.
I've got a story called "We Just Recorded FTL," and I told the story then, and I used it up.
All right.
So,
Anything grind your gears?
lack of sleep right now.
Okay.
I'm drinking. You know what? I'll tell you what grinds my gears. I learned the other day that you probably know this, Tyler, because of all your schooling with nutrition, and you can maybe confirm or deny this. I heard that your body becomes used to caffeine, becomes immune to caffeine after 3 months, and that after that 3 months, the only thing you are doing when you're drinking coffee, Coke, whatever, is staving off withdrawal.
I heard that there was a limit, your tolerance, but I hadn't heard it was that quickly.
Well, and I know that it's like any sort of thing that your body acclimates to, it's dosing. So you do acclimate to a certain dosing level, and if you don't continue to increase it, then yeah.
Oh, I do that, so I'm fine.
There is a level at which it causes heart palpitations. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Okay, yeah, because it scared me to death the first time it happened. I went to my doctor and went, I think I'm going to die. And he said, you're just drinking too much coffee.
I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and I used to drink 5 rock stars a day.
I remember those days. Yeah.
And those are the days of heart palpitations.
Your fridge was almost entirely 4 packs of those energy drinks.
And I quit that not because it was unhealthy, but because it was super expensive to drink a 4-pack of those a day.
Yeah.
It's
God.
Is this an $8 a day habit? I'm pretty sure it is.
I could be a smoker for this.
And I was.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
I'm still here. I don't do either. I've been clean for 2 years from both. Actually, I lied. I just had a Red Bull the other day.
I'm still proud of you.
Thanks, Wiley.
You're welcome.
Well, Maester Wiley, could you first tell us your full Christian name?
Oh, yes. I am Benjamin Wiley Ammons Jr.
And that's special because your family has a history of...
Yeah, I am Wiley the Fourth. So I'm named Benjamin for my maternal great-grandfather, and I'm named Wiley for my paternal grandfather. I'm Wiley the Fourth. So those names come from both sides of my family. And Junior because my father was Benjamin Wiley before me. There were 2 George Wileys before us.
I hope he goes by that and not senior.
What's that?
Benjamin Wiley before me. And I hope at Thanksgiving you're introduced as son of Benjamin Wiley.
Son of Benjamin who comes before me.
Right.
No, anyone. Well, so we were Big Wiley and Little Wiley growing up. But anybody who knows my dad, I'm very easily Wiley the Lesser. So he would be Wiley the Greater.
Did it bother you being Little Wiley?
In my 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
My family was still calling me Little Wiley.
Because I was Little David, and it bugged the hell out of me when
Yeah.
I was a kid. So I was just curious.
Yeah, like I can drink, I can vote, I can drive a car, and I'm still Little Wiley.
Yeah.
So my Aunt Diana.
How do you think Lil Wayne feels going to a family
Wayne.
reunion? Big Wayne, Lil Wayne.
That's different. He picked that.
My Aunt Diana was finally the one who put a stop to it. She's like, look, he's 25 years old. You can't call him Little Wiley anymore. So now I'm just Wiley. Yeah.
Now I'm Jerkface Wiley.
That's right.
Big improvement.
Yeah.
Well, Benjamin Wiley Ammons, what is the definition? What is a gamer?
So knowing that we were doing this, I thought about it a bit. And for me, my bar is a little lower than Jacob York's and others. For me, a gamer, I think, is someone who can talk about gaming without having to excuse it for some reason. And you know these people who own an Xbox, but it's mainly all we do is watch Netflix on it. Uh-huh. Or, I did play that, but I was a kid. Or, yeah, I heard about that game. And, you're looking askance to make sure people know that you're not really that kind of person. If you don't feel like giving that sort of excuse or qualification is necessary when you're talking about gaming, I think you can consider yourself a gamer. You're sort of unashamedly a gamer.
So you're making a stand against closeted gamers.
Yes.
And everyone should come out of their gaming closet.
That's right. Just be who you are.
I am.
Because
I hear you.
Nicole Nance of Kirby's Dream Course was very much a closeted gamer. She's talked about that a lot. About her whole life, she was a closeted gamer. Not on. It had to wait until she married Josh Nance of Uniracers fame before she came out.
Well, if anyone could do that to a woman, it's Josh of Uniracers fame.
That's right.
So by your own definition, and maybe the definition of others, are you a gamer?
So by my definition, yes. But by others, I think I've left their gamer definition probably not long after I left college, because I'm not. The majority of my time is not spent on games now. But yes, I still consider myself a gamer.
What was your first gaming? Maybe not a console system. What was your introduction into gaming?
I got an IBM PS1 Consultant. It was a 486 SX25 with 4 megabytes of memory and a 2400 baud modem. It was my gaming Cadillac.
Hell yeah, dude!
Loved it.
You had a modem on that?
Yes.
God.
Yeah, BBSing up a storm.
I'm jealous of you. Holy shit.
It was great. And then I actually think that was my second system. We got the Nintendo Entertainment System for Christmas the year before. And then my parents decided to get a computer. And so I was 10. 9, I guess, when I got the NES, and then 10 when I got the computer.
So you weren't really hooked on the NES initially?
I was, but really, interestingly enough, we played a lot of sports games.
Oh, Wiley.
My dad bought...
And NES sports games at that, man.
Oh, Wiley.
Yeah, so it was Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Can't go wrong.
That came with all of them. My dad bought Jack Nicklaus Golf, and we would play Jack Nicklaus Golf as a family. That would be the one time when Dad would let us hook it up to the larger TV, not the little 13-inch color television in the den.
A James TV.
Yeah, we'd hook it up.
I'm sorry, James. You're not listening, but I'm sorry.
We'd hook it up to the 22-inch color television in the living room.
Did it have the wood?
Yeah, that's what I had too, yeah.
And play Jack Nicklaus Golf.
That was a big deal. When you could hook up the console to that, oh man.
And this is something for 80s Nintendo. Jack Nicklaus Golf would let you play as a woman.
Really?
And so my mom and my sister could play with us too. And the 5 of us would play Jack Nicklaus Golf. And then we would convince my dad to let us play Mario Brothers, and that would last for about a half hour. And then he'd be like, all right, take it back to the bedroom.
Get that shit out of here.
I want to watch ESPN.
So before I delve into more game-related questions, we'll break it up a little bit with some nice personal information.
Yeah, we need some personal information.
So,
what's your social?
So Wiley, you in high school had a pregnant girlfriend.
I did.
I didn't know this.
It's kind of a trick question.
Not one of my finer moments.
Oh, do tell. What's up?
So my first date with my first girlfriend was in the 8th grade. We went to a Jacksonville Suns minor league baseball game.
Okay.
I was smitten with this girl. And she was smitten with a lot of people. And
you included?
For a while.
Okay. So you're doing all right for yourself?
Well, so I grew up Southern Baptist. I signed a True Love Waits pledge card.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
I took very seriously.
Of course.
And so dated this girl, and she showed up to a party that year with hickeys on her neck, which I learned what a hickey was when she came to the party.
Secret boob hickeys or just regular?
No, this was hickeys on her neck and face. It's like what?
Maybe she got in a fight with a squid.
Someone else had to explain to me what was going on. I was like, I don't think we're girlfriend and boyfriend anymore. And so
a sad day.
Yeah, so came around again. Junior year in high school, we dated again, and then she was living a bit further away by then. But yeah, she called me one day crying to let me know that she was pregnant. And I was like, wait. So no, I mean, by then I'm a junior in high school. No one has to explain to me how this.
Right. I was hoping you were in a situation where you had not figured out where babies come
So
from.
really,
yet.
hold on, and you called your mom.
All right, Mom, how does this work?
I got a situation, Mom.
And so then, by then, 0% chance that it was me, unless some miracle had occurred.
Glee style, you got in the hot tub.
That's
and it's
Yeah, completely no chance that it was mine. And so quick conversation. I was like, well, I guess that's it for me then. But decided as an idiot to play this joke on my mother. We were on our way home from the grocery store, and we'd just gotten groceries in the car, headed over the overpass on the way home, and I look over at my mom, and I was like, hey, Mom, girlfriend's name is pregnant, and she almost ran off the road. And here I am thinking I'm getting this great joke over on my mother. I'm like, and she looks at me white as a sheet, and I thought she was going to throw up. And I was like, whoa, it's not mine. And my mom stops the car in the middle of the road. And she's like, what? I said, there's a 0% chance that it's mine. Nothing ever happened. And she goes, don't you ever think about doing that to me again. You don't know what you're saying. I was like, I thought it was funny. That is not funny. So, yeah, potentially worst day of my mother's life.
Could have been worse. Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, but
There's your silver lining. All right, so transition back.
Or back to gaming.
Tyler just wanted that story.
Yep. So looking over your PC console games, what would you say are your top 5 franchises are fine, top 5 favorite games of all time?
Number one, bar none, I don't have to think about it, is Grim Fandango. And I was really glad to hear you say it was your favorite LucasArts game. Grim Fandango, best game I've ever played. It's an adventure game, but it is my favorite. The second one, pretty close, is the Civilization series. I think the Civilization series are some of the best games, and I continue to buy them. Although I've probably played Civilization for maybe 2.5 hours since I've owned it.
They're like a casino, man.
Yeah.
Not an Encino, man. Let's not confuse. They're like a casino because
And they're
like
like Brendan Fraser, man. These fucking
God.
Civilization games.
I can sit down and have a 15-hour long conversation with Brendan Fraser. I can sit down and play Civ 5 for 15 hours.
Right. So that covers adventure. That covers strategy. I guess that is what Civilization would be. My first love in RPGs, and it didn't really go anywhere, but Dragon Warrior was my first love in RPGs, and I probably spent that more time on that RPG than any other RPG I've ever played.
Did that relationship end when Dragon Warrior got pregnant?
Yeah, and
Fair
sadly, I had to give Dragon Warrior away to another.
You weren't going to be a brood queen?
Nope. Nope. I mean, fool me once, shame on me. So, shame on you. Yeah.
There's just shame.
Cliches.
Yeah.
Cliches.
Curtain of shame.
That's right. So I guess that covers 3.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure I was ready to go 5 deep.
That's what she said.
Oh.
So games off the top of my head, Joust is an incredibly important game to me. This was
Interesting.
Atari era.
So the Atari version specifically?
Yeah,
Or the arcade version?
is good too, but I spent most of my time playing it on the Atari. And then I know there are so many games I'm forgetting that are terrific games that I really should give credit to.
Do you want to count EverQuest?
Yes, that should probably be even higher.
Were you a big EverQuester?
Oh, yeah. If there is one game that I've spent more of my life on than any other game, it was EQ1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was in a high-end rating guild on Tor Vanillis, and my wife and I would spend days at a time rating in EverQuest.
How many days did you spend on a boat?
In the very beginning, a lot. Yeah. Before the Plane of Power came out, and or Plane of Knowledge came out on the Planes of Power expansion, and traveling became trivial. I spent a lot of time.
When I was a kid, I knew an older guy down the street who played EverQuest. And I swear to you, I was friends with his younger brother. Every time I'd go over to his house, this guy would be playing EverQuest. And every time he would be on a boat. And at one point I was like, what are you doing? What is this game? Oh, it's EverQuest. It's really good. Is it? Because it looks like you're just standing on a boat.
Yes. Well, thank you for that reminder, Tyler. Yeah, I would probably put EverQuest number 2. Yeah, really, really good game.
Okay.
They're still rolling out expansions for that too, aren't they?
They are. EQ2 has come out, and now EQ Next is what they're talking about now. It's going to be a world builder, almost EverQuest, not almost, EverQuest meets Minecraft.
Interesting.
And so it's player constructed content. I forgot EVE Online. EVE Online is also a fantastic sandbox.
Yeah, I feel like
MMO.
that's always been that's the iconic EverQuest I think of, Grim Fandango, and then
EVE Online.
It's been like quintessential Wiley games.
Man, yeah. So bump down Joust. What was I thinking?
Hey, man. Joust is pretty
Joust
damn
is good. I mean, obviously still top 10, but man, yeah. EVE and EverQuest should definitely be way up there. Those are 2 phenomenal games.
What are some games that you hate?
Oh,
I'm not going to give you a fixed number, but just any games on the top of your head that you're just like, fuck those asshole games.
18 games you hate. Go.
So Mickey Mousecapade for the original NES had a 2-player mode.
Okay.
Single player mode, really good. 2-player mode, you had Mickey and Minnie had to stay together.
Yes.
And if you ran them apart, it was a stalemate.
Yes.
And they wouldn't move. You had to move as a pair. My brother and I fought and fought and fought. First over who would be Minnie, and then whoever the jerk was that got stuck with Minnie would just walk in the other.
I was hoping you were fighting to play as Minnie.
No.
No, I'm Minnie. No, motherfucker, I'm Minnie.
Yeah, well...
No one. He was not raised with the Kyle Searles of Zombies Ate My Neighbor's fame, who has to play the female character every time, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so 80s gender politics, Mickey always led. So if you had to play Minnie, all you could do is just drag Mickey down. And whoever it was, me or my brother, yeah, you just run in the other direction. And we went nowhere. The other one, E.T. for the Atari, had so much potential, but it was so confusing to figure out how to play. Never figured it out. I walked around.
Most people didn't.
Little brown ET falling down pits, picking my little neck up and getting out, and then still not knowing what to do.
I've never played that game. As much as I've heard that game is awful, I've never played it.
Incredibly confusing, and probably the most frustrating, even more so than ET. Most frustrating, but still spent a lot of time on it, was Marble Madness. For the NES.
Yep.
It was like balancing the entire game on the head of a pin to roll their marbles down the course, and it would be easy to fall off, and every time the marble fell off, it made this sad
I think
noise.
Nikki's grandmother was like phenomena at that game.
At Marble Madness?
Yeah, that and Dr. Mario.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the pill, like the Tetris with pills, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't play much of that, but those games were really, really frustrating.
Thanks for reminding me of Marble Madness.
I feel like it's 80s game day. I have played a game since 1990.
We don't care. You're fine.
But, but apparently all the ones that predate that are the ones that are in my heart.
So your current job is...
I am a priest in the Episcopal Church and the canon for youth ministry for the Diocese of Florida. So I don't have a church, but I work in the church and run ministry and work with young people.
So you have, because being a priest, knowing what your resume is, becoming a priest is like way off the path from what the rest of your resume is.
Yes. So I'm an engineer by training. Yeah. And sort of a technician before I got into the priesthood. So, yeah, I joke that I went from the hard sciences to the soft sciences.
But I don't know if it was your first job, but I remember you telling me not only do you have a famous Steam embargo, you also have a famous Winn-Dixie embargo.
Yeah. So
You take hardline stances when people fuck you over.
That's true.
Mostly retail places.
Mostly retail. So I don't
You're
normally.
gonna sound like my dad in this story. I just know it. I just know it.
We were all three raised by like the same man.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
very, very
Yeah.
similar.
I mean,
You have our dad too?
yes.
Yeah, okay. So I don't normally hold personal grudges. I apparently hold commercial grudges, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I just got really hosed by Winn-Dixie who didn't treat me like a human being, I thought. And so I haven't shopped there ever since. They've lost a lot of money in grocery revenue because they're convenient. But I worked there as a stock boy for a store where most of the stock crew who weren't me was stealing. Because we would work after hours, and even the shift manager for the stock crew got caught loading beer into his pickup truck, like a pickup truck bed full of beer.
Wow.
They eliminated my crew. They let all of us go, but in letting us go, they didn't really fire us. They allowed us to transfer away. But I read the Winn-Dixie employee manual, and the employee manual said, if you transferred stores, they could not change your pay rate, and they were paying us $1 more an hour at this store because they were trying to attract employees that wouldn't steal from them by paying a little more.
That didn't work, clearly.
No.
Clearly.
So they eliminated the night stock crew. I went to work for another store and found out that instead of transferring me, they fired me for failure. They double scheduled me. They fired me for failure to appear at my one store and then processed my transfer as a rehire at the other store so they could cut me $1 an hour. And so I worked a month being naive. I worked a month worth of paychecks, having them short me, not realizing they never intended to fix it. Went to the corporate office, went to try to meet with one of the corporate officers, sat in the lobby for an hour and a half and realized no one was ever going to meet with me. So I walked back into my store and quit and have never darkened their door again. So
I don't blame you for that one. That is
Winn-Dixie
shitty all around.
Is Winn-Dixie on Twitter?
I don't know.
Lord Mike, you know what to do.
Do we need to send the knights of Tadpog fiefdom out to harass Winn-Dixie?
Yeah, it was as little as I was making in the late 90s. $200 would solve this.
Hashtag hire Wiley.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Correspondent Laura just confirmed that Winn-Dixie is in fact on Twitter.
yeah, so like $200 would fix it, but they didn't think that they either didn't think that a 16-year-old could do math or that I was worth the trouble. So yeah, that's the Winn-Dixie embargo.
Because to pull back a D&D reference, I think after these stories, I think it should be known that you are the most lawful good human that I know.
Thanks for that, I guess.
You and he's never been on the show, but another friend of mine, J. Brent Morrison, I think he occasionally listens, maybe like once, but both of you are, like, I want you to have a lawful good off one day because you're both like paragons of law and good.
Well, like I tell my wife often, there is must be order in the universe.
Let's see.
Who is correspondent Laura?
One and the same.
That's right. My lovely correspondent Laura.
So after, let's see, Winn-Dixie, and then you eventually started working tech support for AOL.
That's right. Thank you for calling America Online, technical support for Windows. My name is Wiley. How may I help you? Can still do it in my sleep.
And how was that job? Because I hear a lot of horror stories about tech support.
So most of the urban legends that you see online with people who call in tech support lines with really dumb questions about computers, the vast majority of them are true. This is, again, mid to late 90s. Computers were this new thing. The internet was a totally new thing. And people just did not know how it worked or what went on. But it was a great job. And I think that was where I discovered the joy that can be had helping people. And so I ended up being...
So you're a priest now because of America Online.
I'm not sure I'd say that, but
I would say that. America Online brought you to God. Is what I'm going to say.
In fact, I think we should put that on our next batch of promo cards.
That's right. Tadpog and AOL brought me to God. But I ended up being the guy on the team who took all of the irate callers. So when a caller would just lose it and rationality was nowhere to be found, and the tech support would be at the end of his or her rope and couldn't feel like there was anything else to be done, then they go, Or when the tech support caller gets so furious, I want to talk to your manager. Let me talk to somebody who can make something happen. Then 17-year-old Wiley would pick up the phone and say, "Hello, this is management. How can I help you?"
We have somebody who's lawful good. Will that work? Yes, put me on the lawful good.
And it started to become good to me. It started to become a challenge to make that person smile by the end of the call. Every time I could do it, it felt great. And because they felt good, they felt like something had been done. They'd made a connection with someone. And that became my rush. And so working at AOL, it was making the angry, cussing, furious person laugh before they got off the phone. And I did all right at it.
Yeah. And in comparison to your time at AOL, you also did time at the Florida Turnpike.
Yeah, so Florida Digital Turnpike. This is the shortest job I've ever had. I worked there 4 days.
What is this?
Florida Digital Turnpike, and I hope they're out of business because they are awful. They didn't
Are
deserve...
they in bed with Winn-Dixie or?
I don't... The problem... Conspiracy. They don't deserve to have customers. I went from AOL, where my joy was serving and making someone smile, to Florida Digital Turnpike, where they would play Quake on the LAN while they were waiting on tech support calls and have a stare off when the phone would ring and just look at somebody in the eyes and see who would not answer the phone until it got to voicemail. If it got to voicemail, everybody failed. But you had to wait until just that moment before voicemail picked up to pick up the phone and accidentally try to serve this customer. And
It sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds pretty good.
Because you're telling us, like, the Apex tech support experience sounds very different.
The third or fourth time I was on the phone with an old woman who could have been my grandmother, and one of my coworkers dropped the F-bomb, and this old woman goes, "What did that boy say?" And I had to try to explain that the pig next to me chawing on a chili dog and getting killed at Quake just dropped an F-bomb when I'm trying to get her in touch with her grandkids across the country. I walked in on my last day with my notebook and my headset in my hand, and the manager met me at the door, exasperated, because I was the only one who would answer the phone. "Oh, thank God you're here. The network is down, our hub is down, our modems are frying, this whole thing is going down. We need you." And I said, "I just came in to turn in my headset, man." "You what?" "Yeah, I'm just here to turn in my headset. This job is terrible. I quit." "You can't quit? Not today." I said, "Yes, I can." And my roommate, who I got the job there, was standing right behind me. He's like, this job is the only job I've ever gotten and quit by saying, "Me too." We interviewed together and we quit together. So Sam said, "Me too," and got hired, and said, "Me too," and quit. Same day.
So we at TADPOG, Tyler and Dave, play old games. We don't necessarily say that they have to be video games. They're just games. So I know, while you are also a huge fan of all games related to the board.
Oh, yes. Love it. I'm actually going to be running the board game section at AmeliaCon in September on Amelia Island in Florida. Yeah, I got recruited by the guy who's starting AmeliaCon, which is a comics and manga and board games and sci-fi fantasy convention that's coming to Amelia Island, and he has recruited me to run the board game section of it. So,
sweet.
Yes, I'm happy to be doing that and love board games. I'm part of the Jacksonville board game card and board game meetup group. And so get there as often as I can.
Do you guys have any cool board game cafes nearby that have been sprouting up everywhere, it seems?
Yeah, so Cool Stuff Games is a place in Jacksonville that does hosted board games. Happy Viking is another one that's in an old bookstore, what used to be an old bookstore in Jacksonville, that does hosted board gaming.
Cool.
And they have different events and where they will promo new board games. Both of those places are places that I play in Jacksonville and are both great places to go and game.
Awesome.
There's a lot of Magic. Magic is the bread and butter of the gaming store.
Magic is the force that binds us all.
It is the gathering. So yeah, but I go to a lot of board gaming events there too. Every time I get the chance.
Sweet.
What are some of your favorite? Let's say the top 5 favorite board games. Let's go there.
All right. So I mentioned Battlestar Galactica on the FTL episode. Great board game. There are lots of really good ones. James Livingston says Settlers of Catan ruins families. but I have introduced several people. It's a fairly easy to learn.
It's like an introductory.
Gateway game. And my personal favorite right now is Airlines Europe, which is kind of takes the ticket to ride mechanic, but throws a stock market twist to it so that you're not competing independent railroads. You actually all developed a whole cluster of airlines, and then you're vying for individual control of the cluster of airlines, and they change hands through the course of the game, which makes Airlines a really interesting game to play in that way. My favorite long form board game that takes a really long time, again on the FTL subject, is Twilight Imperium. You can play it if you play a short game in about 6 hours. Totally worth the time. Really good, very deep strategy game where early decisions have long-term effect.
Is this the kind of game where if you fuck up real early on, the rest of this session is going to be absolutely miserable for you?
Yes,
Okay.
It can definitely happen.
I'm out. I can't do games like that. Because inevitably I will fuck up in like the first 30 minutes and be like, oh, great. So the next 5.5 hours I get to sit here knowing that I'm boned.
Well, then you do what Wiley's wife correspondent Laura does, where Wiley is the most lawful good person you ever meet. His wife is downright the most chaotic person you can ever meet. So she'll like, let's just fuck up on purpose. Let's just fuck up everybody's next 6 hours.
Yeah, so now that my game is done, so is yours. And then one of my favorite games for getting women into gaming, and it's worked on several women in our friend group lately, is called Takanoko. It was on Will Wheaton's tabletop. It's basically pandas eating bamboo and pooping rainbows.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And ladies totally get into this game. And it's an easy way to get them introduced into board gaming as well. Arkham Horror is good. Dominion is good if you're a card gamer. All of these are kind of the really big name board games.
What's the role-playing game that we played the last few times?
Fiasco.
Fiasco
is also really good, but it takes a lot of buy-in. You got to get people. D&D gamers are really good people to get playing Fiasco because it's basically the role-playing aspects of D&D without all the dice rolling mechanics. They dial back the dice rolling mechanic a lot, and it's a really good role-playing game that if your players will own their characters, you can do incredible things with it. And it goes in all sorts of zany directions. The point of the game is basically to set up characters that you care about and come halfway through the game to ruin them. And it makes for very entertaining gameplay.
All right, transition question. I'm reminded of a time where you were sick and went to the doctor and he accused you of having too much anal sex.
What? What?
Wow. Not a story I was expecting.
No. Here's the real important question. What part of you is he inspecting?
It could go one of two ways. Both pretty impressive.
No judgment.
So this is the time in undergrad when I had a urinary tract infection so bad that I thought I was going to die because I had never bled before and was...
You blossomed.
Yeah, yes, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I had a really, really, really terrible urinary tract infection. And in his defense, you have a college undergrad that comes in with something going on to that degree.
Wearing a T-shirt that says, I love anal sex.
To that degree of...
Fuck them butts. My T-shirts.
To that degree of
Butt
nasty.
Lord.
So he had me give a urine sample, and I handed it to him. I mean, I guess this is kind of gross to do on the radio, but
Nope.
he handed it to him, and he's like, I don't even have to test that one. You got a urinary tract infection.
Did
Yeah.
he just like twist the top open and like waft some to his nose? Oh, yeah.
Like smelling the ammonia in the lab. Yeah.
So he was like, well, so what you been up to? And I said, well, hurting for the last few days. That's what I've been up to. And then he started asking really probing intimate questions about my sex life, which was non-existent. And so he thought I was lying. And he's like, no, I'm a doctor. You can be truthful with me. And I said, I am being truthful with you. Well, so, I mean, how frequently do you have anal sex? And I said, I don't. Never.
I hope his follow-up question wasn't like, how old do you think I am?
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
You ever done time in a Turkish prison?
So then the next question he asks is like, oral? No. Really? And then I'm like, should I feel bad, Doc? Because this is weird.
You can pull out your pledge card and show
bit.
it. I can't. Sorry.
Yeah, forbidden.
I'm lawful. Sign an oath. Can't do it.
Yeah, so I seriously think by the end of the interview, he was like, well, if you're not going to tell me the truth, this is how you avoid getting another urinary tract infection.
Keep that out of butts and mouths.
Here's some antibiotics. Go away, liar. So, yeah, that was unpleasant when the doc was judging me for my lack of prowess.
Or your honesty, which is more insulting.
Yeah, like, no. Really? Because you're not that bad looking of a guy.
Here, touch this.
Do you?
Now, this is what it should really feel like.
Son, do you like girls?
I know you were also very much into fantasy.
Yes.
You introduced me to some. You were the first big push behind A Song of Ice and Fire. Getting me to read that.
I have lost several friends over that because George Martin won't finish writing it.
Yeah. Well, I guess the show will it's got to end before the books. So it's what I really think is going to happen. So.
Yeah, loved those books. That was really, well, so of course, like a lot of people who read high fantasy, The Lord of the Rings was where I cut my teeth. I read out loud The Hobbit in the car on the road trip for our honeymoon. And I did voices and read that with my wife. She'd read it before, but we read it together. And that was one of our bonding moments. And I love fantasy whenever I can get my hands on it.
Because the only thing Meg's really ever read to me was one of Chelsea Handler's books because I couldn't find the audio version. I was driving home. I was like, I want to read this. Read it to me. Really? Yep. so she reads me like a Chelsea Handler autobiography in the car for 6 hours.
I read till my voice was hoarse doing Gollum. And then when the movie came out and we got to meet Gollum on the big screen, I thought, well, I wasn't too far.
See, so why both video and board? Why do you play games? What is your motivation really behind gaming?
Well, so video, I think I tend to like single player unless it's MMO. Because what I love about gaming is learning the system and being able to understand the larger system and what your part is and being able to master the system. And it's not like looking up cheat guides. I hated cheating. I had a Game Genie that was a huge waste of money because it took the fun out of gaming for me because it took the challenge out of it. But ultimately, my favorite part about gaming, period, is being with your friends and doing something that's interactive. So multiplayer gaming, if it's on television, it's good, but nowhere near as good as sitting across the table from someone. And I love the new string of co-op games that we've had come out where it is you and your friends against the system. Mm-hmm. Pandemic is a really good example of this, where you play the system, Battlestar Galactica to a certain extent, until the trader mechanic comes in. But good games, Firefly, it's competitive, but at the same time, you're still working against the system together. And that's what's fun for me, just sitting down and trying to win together. That's why I game.
Okay, I like that. All right, Wiley, one last question. How do you think that we can make TADPOG better?
Oh, I was saying after we recorded the FTL episode, I think you're some of the best audio there is, quality-wise, in podcasts. I was really surprised when you guys started doing it. And really, the episode when you forgot the recording and we had to listen to it off of Dave's iPad, recording from the ambient microphone, the one Sean Miller was on, that made me really appreciate the hard work that goes into making the show sound the way that it does.
That's why we did it. Sorry, Miller.
You can look completely at Dave for that.
It was totally his fault.
I just show. I was ranking the audio.
Fucked that one up.
Ranking the audio quality good. It's Sean Miller for making the audio bad. It's totally his fault.
No, I'm to blame for both. And it's just simply making sure that the right input is set on Audacity in that one time.
Well, so I think the Monday show, and while I know it doubled your work, I think also really did something for the show, because for good or ill, you guys started at the bottom of the Super Nintendo list. So you just took on crap to begin with and knew that was coming.
Come on, man, Tiny Toons.
Oh, well.
Except for the football level.
Fucking train level, man.
Yeah, so, well, for all the crap that Tiny Toons was, that has spawned what I think is the metaphor that has run the longest through TADPOG. Because I like and love you guys personally, so I've listened from the beginning. And so it's been good to listen to you develop as hosts, develop as interviewers, develop as game reviewers. And so I think Monday added a lot to the show, but I think also the fact that the games are getting better, because when
it's only taken 70 weeks.
Something to be said about perseverance.
But when there's a game the two of you enjoy, it's a different show. It really is a different show. And not that the games that you don't enjoy are bad shows. Usually you tend to figure something else out to talk about. And so that's entertaining. But I think it's just by nature of the fact that you guys have hit your stride, and you're getting to better games. That's just making it better, because it's obvious that you love what you're doing anyway. Even when you're playing a crap game, you still get to, like I was saying, the point of gaming is you're sitting across from the table of someone who you love to spend time with and who you think is interesting, and just being yourselves. And so that's the thing that I appreciate about the show. I'm not sure how you can make that better. That's like saying, how can you improve chemistry? And
well, you said we play better games.
That's right.
Make it better if you played better games.
So yeah,
okay.
Play better games.
More anal sex. Noted.
Play better games or make out. Maybe both.
Well, thank you for your interview. I enjoyed every bit of you telling those stories. I know there are more stories. I have them written down, but time is.
What is that
pressing.
you drew? Is that
this is a man
without a head?
He's holding bowling balls and he has a stick for a head.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a snowman up here.
Is that Are either of those related to Questions Ask Wiley?
Nope.
Damn it! I was hoping they were like visual.
I've got visual
pictograph notes. Wiley, can you tell me the time you built that snowman?
I prefer hieroglyphics. Thank you.
Well, so like Einstein said about relativity, recording with you guys, he says that a moment, spending time doing something boring, a minute feels like forever, and spending time with your hand on a hot stove, a minute feels like forever, and spending time with a beautiful woman forever feels like a minute. That's his metaphor for relativity. So an hour goes by quick hanging out with you guys.
That's sweet, Wiley.
We'll marry you.
That's sweet.
All right.
I like that.
But I know some people called us to leave questions.
Some people called us?
Yeah.
I'm woefully ill-prepared. Just kidding.
Boom.
Just slightly ill-prepared. All right. Yeah, we got some. Check that out. Here's one.
TADPOG, it's Baby Dips. A couple of weeks ago, I was sitting at work, and a coworker of mine said, yeah, I was with my friend in downtown Portland, and we were eating, and a basketball player for the Rockets walked by, and it was whoever that guy is with the beard. And I was a split second away from perking up and saying, hey, it's NBA James.
Oh, what happened?
You saw NBA
There we go.
James. And then I realized that only about 50 people in the world would get that joke.
But they're a good 50.
Anyway, keep it up. Thanks. Bye.
Baby Dibs.
Sorry I inadvertently interrupted your call. What I was going to do was look up the Dream of the 90s is alive in Portland.
Yeah.
And inadvertently, because once again, I'm working on about 40 hours and no sleep right now, inadvertently ended your call. Sorry.
But thank you, Baby Dibs.
Yes.
Yeah, good call.
I think that episode has like 500, 600 listens, so more than 50 people.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe it's those people listen to it 10 times.
It could just be John Turley clicking play over and over and over and over again.
Up in the
Out of all the guest hosts that we've had, I think John would be at the bottom of the list of people who do that. Because I love John, and I'm curious if he listened to his own episode, because I'm not sure that he did.
I'm going to bet he did not.
John, call in, let us know.
there you go.
Got another call, it looks like. I don't know.
All right.
TADPOG, what is up? This is Oathbreaker. And
Blake
I've got a couple of
Woods.
questions for you guys. First one is uniquely formed for your guest host today. Wiley has magnificent facial hair. I myself have recently started to grow a beard, and I've gotten it to a pretty good length, so I'm through the awkward phase. The problem is that my beard grows in circles and out versus down. I was wondering if Wiley and Tyler might have some beard grooming tips. Second question is for all of you guys there. It's a hypothetical. You have $60 hypothetical dollars to spend on Steam. What do you buy? Let's say that you have nothing in your library, and you're going to buy some games from Steam. You have $60 to spend in whatever iteration you want. You can buy one game, you can buy 3 games, whatever. How do you spend your $60 on Steam? Really enjoying the podcast lately. You guys seem to have really hit stride of games that you know and love, and I think it's working really well. So, been really enjoying podcasts lately. Sayonara. Bye.
He might be enjoying the podcast because he's listened to them spaced out and not 20 episodes in a row.
Seems like you guys really enjoy the games, as opposed to me listening to you rant for 20 hours about shitty Super Nintendo games.
Right. So we're 2,000ths of a way to that million, right?
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, so we're almost there. We're on the cusp.
Keep it up, Blake Woods. Almost there.
But Beard, what are your beard grooming tips?
Oh, well, so first of all, the way that he describes his beard, that he's almost got the beard version of crop circles. I'd say own it. Don't try to groom that miracle away. Just be you, baby. But if you decide you don't want to be you, you can get there are creams for it. You can use, if you want to just go basic, you can use shampoo and things like that to try to shape it. I wouldn't use hairspray or anything like that on it, but just keep it moisturized, comb it often. You can train it just like you train any other head hair or back hair. You can,
like you do.
Train it to move in the direction that you want it to move. But if you got the beard equivalent of crop circles, I mean, there's a lot of places you could go with that.
So I try to find a balance between being professional and what turns my wife on, because I try to do like the close cropped, trimmed, chin strap kind of beard for work. But Meg likes super scruffy and long. So if I'm not working, that's good for her because my beard just goes crazy. Or if I keep it right at that cusp where work's going to say something to me, but they're not quite yet, that's probably the sweet spot for me in regards to my beard. So yeah, Blake, whatever the college lets you have and whatever Laura Beth digs, just find that balance.
Yeah, and the longer it is, you can use the weight. Gravity helps. You just keep it combed down. It'll eventually.
But as far as the Steam library question goes,
It's a tough question.
The Ultimate Edition Fallout 3, Ultimate Edition Fallout New Vegas, Castle Crashers, Rogue Legacy.
Yeah.
And for another one, I'm kind of stuck a little bit. I'm trying to think of another, I'm not sure if this is the Desert Island situation, just one of the best games that I think are on Steam.
It's just if you have $60 to spend. He says 60, and then he says 50, so I don't know. Let's go at 60. We're going to take advantage of the situation, take the 10 extra dollars.
So what else have I bought? The recent Bastion.
Yeah, Bastion's on my list. I was definitely going to keep Bastion and Rogue Legacy in there. How much do you think you're at?
I'd say plus add in Bastion, I bet I have $10 left. So then it's like, trying to think, what have I not really, what's a solid JRPG that's on Steam to throw into that list? Is there one?
I kind of want to pick up Child of Light.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Haven't played it yet. So it kind of sucks because it's like it's difficult for me to tell you because here's what I would spend it on games that I currently don't own. Even if my library vanished, if my Steam library vanished tomorrow and I forgave them and said, you know what, I've got $60, I'm gonna be dumb and spend it with these people who misplaced all of the property that I purchased. I think I got to go new stuff. I'm not gonna buy something that I've already played, even though Bastion, man, I want to have that game. I think I'd check out some new stuff like Child of Light and Transistor.
God, Transistor I will buy on release day. That's probably the only game on Steam I will ever buy on release day.
Is it not out? I thought it was out.
I think it's out like the 26th.
Oh, okay.
If not, then fuck me for what I just said.
When is this episode published? This fucking time machine scrambles your brain.
It should be out by the time this episode publishes. So we'll see if I'm mad at my word or not.
Gift certificates.
Well, you would just rather have $60 because you're not buying shit on Steam.
Because you're saving it up for Winn-Dixie,
Gift
right?
certificates. Right. That would be a little less than halfway towards getting me to be a Winn-Dixie shopper again.
Hashtag hire Wiley.
Maybe we have time for one more story that you told me, Wiley. Or do we have more calls?
I got another call.
Oh,
looks
okay,
like.
never mind. Let's do another.
But I kind of want to hear a Wiley story.
I bet we'll have time for both.
Okay. I really wanted to play. Well, I'm sorry. It's actually a text message. Is that okay? It's from somebody we want to hear from.
Okay.
It is from. Well, let me just read it. Greetings, Tadpog. Time Lord Josh here with a text question from the future for Wiley Ammons. So we have to read this now.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Assuming Dave and Blake lived to find you in the zombie apocalypse, could you fly the group to safety? An island? Canada? Where would you go?
So
Dave and Blake, so I died. It was my idea to make it to you, and I died.
I don't. Hey, look, I don't know.
Damn you, Time Lord.
Thanks for the idea of the plate armor, Tyler. I just took that and ran with it.
But that's one of my favorite Tadpog images is someone mowing the lawn in full plate with zombies gnawing just angrily. So it would have to be a different plane than mine because 4 grown men won't go in mine. But had I been able to find an aircraft that would carry us, and should you and Blake finally make it through the zombie apocalypse to find me and Tyler who are getting fat on our isolation island, I think we would probably go to the Bahamas or to Cuba. Because
Cuba?
Even
you think Cuba's going to be safe?
Yeah, even zombies don't want to go to Cuba.
Zombies communists, no. Oh.
No, it's an embargo. They know better. There's
Zombie lawful, respect embargo. Bay of Pigs, nasty.
So water desalinization might be a problem. Fresh water would be a problem on an island, but I think an island probably with lots of water is a barrier. Maybe one of the intercoastals fly out there and blow up the bridge or something.
No Antarctica, anything like that?
I hate cold.
Yeah, man, but we're not going to run into these zombies down there.
Yeah, we'd run out of fire.
Unless some asshole takes them there.
Yeah, right. That's how the movie ends.
Blake gets bit. He's not telling anybody.
Right.
It's such a Blake. Fuck you, Blake. It's such a Blake move.
Thanks, man.
Right.
Now no one's safe in Antarctica.
That's why you're growing that beard to cover up the bite you got in your face.
It looks good. I've seen it on Facebook. He's got a nice red beard. You appreciate it.
That's all. Well, okay.
Wiley story?
Wiley story.
Okay, good.
Because Wiley, I believe you were a big fan of chatting on MIRC.
Nice.
I was.
Were you on Undernet or where were you?
Yeah, well, and then FidoNet
Okay.
was another MIRC. But yeah, it was movies and TV shows and music and that sort of stuff.
But like how Dave met a girl on IRC, you also met a girl.
Turns out, yeah, Tyler and I were talking about between the shows, this is my Palace Chat story
Okay, good.
with Tyler. I actually met a girl on MIRC when I was in high school. She was from Washington State. And so I had a longer nickname that I would use on bulletin boards, but IRC would limit the size of your nickname.
Right.
So I couldn't use the whole nickname. So I just took the first word of it and stuck some numbers behind it. Well, we started chatting for a while and started showing up in the same chat room a couple of days. And she showed up a couple of days later and she changed her name. And it was another name with the same 3 numbers behind it. So it's like
the same 3 numbers that she normally used, or the same 3 numbers that you had
she
behind
changed
yours?
it to the same 3 numbers that were behind mine.
So you're married.
That means, in the internet language,
Yeah.
that means you're married.
Right. I was like, that's kind of weird, but also kind of cool because I guess this is going well. She changed her numbers. But her nickname was the word that she was using in addition to the numbers was Daisy. And then not long after that, we were meeting in the same chat room, chatting all the time. Turned out she was a little older. And I got a letter in the mail from Seattle that had a couple of photos, one of her sitting on the couch with her arm around her son.
Women with kids love Wiley.
Which was kind of cool, but also a little weird being a high schooler and having...
You could have been dad at 16. Come on, you're responsible.
And the
Most
other...
responsible guy? No.
And the other was a picture of her ankle with a daisy tattooed on it. And she was saying that she hoped I liked the new tattoo that she'd gotten. And I thought,
You're in too deep.
this is moving fast. Oh, it also included a mixtape. So she sent me a mixtape.
So this is a story about your last day on IRC.
Yep. Yep. So I mailed a letter. It sort of became pen pal kind of correspondence after that. But yeah, I didn't go on IRC much after that.
Have you? Is she on Facebook? Have you
kinda-
found her on Facebook?
No, and I know her first name. I don't know her last name, but I have a picture of her, so maybe Google image search.
There
or
you
something.
go.
That would
Get
be
your stock on. Find her.
That would be interesting to find out where she is now, because we exchanged some letters, but that was kind of where that ended because I stopped going on IRC because that was scary. Because of that, it was kind of scary. And she had a son, which was a little more than teenage Wiley wanted to take on.
Josh's bullet once. I'm not going back.
Decades hence, and I still don't have kids. So, yeah, there was no way I was ready for that then.
But thank you very much for coming on and divulging personal stories about yourself.
Yeah, in the
For the listening
aftermath, I'm
pleasure.
thinking this is going to be on the internet.
Yep.
For everybody and Daisy to hear.
They're going to hear about my awkward anal sex conversation with my doctor. What have I done?
But thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes or Stitcher, so you don't miss the next episode. I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about.
We're so far in the future right now. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Maybe Transistor,
Hey, hopefully.
which came out 2 days ago. I don't know. Something.
I'll be listening.
I think it's probably the 29th game. I'm not even sure what that is, though, off the top of my head.
Oh, I don't either.
IGN's number 29th ranked game. Edit. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Give the show a 5-star rating and write a review. If there's a game you would like us to play, include that in the review, and we'll get to it eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about some kind of game. And we are probably going to do our best to make it entertaining. We may fail.
Probably.
We may fail at that. I'm throwing that in for Miller. Miller likes it when I give things like a real down note at the end. So Miller, that was for you. I hope you appreciated that. In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes are. Check them out. If you've never been on there before, go and look, and then we'll have all kinds of links to like Win Dixie on Twitter. Probably will be on there.
Yeah.
Maybe like 9 links of Daisy tattoos, and maybe we can see if Wiley can identify the right one. I don't know. It's kind of like what was that old, it's like 60s and 70s game show? Like, will the real Daisy please stand up?
This is your life?
Yeah, we can do that. So I don't know. Check it out. You can also find us on Facebook. We are at facebook.com/tadpog. There are a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. Check it out. Please like us if you like the show, because we'll probably talk to you. Mm-hmm. We'll probably we love hearing what you think about the shows. That helps us make better shows. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at @tadpog_podcast. Thank you to everybody who has been retweeting. We really do appreciate that. You want to call us or text us? You can do it. You can send us a question for Wiley, and we'll save it until when he's here next time, unless I forget about it, which I probably will. But do it anyway. You can reach us at 270-883-2555. If you do call and leave a voicemail, just try to keep it under 3 minutes, so we'd appreciate it.
This is good.
That's all I got.
I'm
man.
happy. I'm happy with it.
Tyler got to thank you, but I haven't yet. Thank you for being on the show, Wiley. I love having you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's a lot of fun always to have friends come in and talk with us.
So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn.
Our intro song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. A link to that track can be found on TADPOG.com.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about my favorite subject. I'm joking.
Pornography.
Pornography.